on, guys? It's Tim here with A4 Outdoors, and I wanted to make a quick video. I was going to change the brake pads on the front of the X3. I've already changed the back, and pretty simple job. Most of you guys, I mean, it's, as far as changing the brake pads are pretty easy, but there is one thing that you may run into that, well, you probably will run into. This machine's got about 2,000 hours. The front brake pads are just now getting low. The outside one's not bad. The caliper from the inside is what pushes, so your inside pad's wearing out faster. So I'll probably put a little lube on that also to keep it from, moving back and forth good. But once you take the tire off, you jack it up, put it on jack stands like I have it. Once you take the tire off, this is your hub assembly here. So this is your brake caliper. You actually have two screws in your brake caliper with pins that run. It's a screw with a pin built in that runs through, and that's kind of what holds your brake pads in there on the hub. So, and what we'll run into, I did run into it on the back, breaking some Torx bits, is these screws really get locked up in there from the factory. So I think they put a little bit of Loctite and they seize up with water and wet and all this stuff. So they're going to be a pain in the butt to get out. The other side I've already taken loose. What I did is after doing the back, I kind of learned that it's hard. You can't just get it and start going. Sometimes they'll come loose, but most of the time they will not. So I have some anti-seize. I sprayed it in there, and as much as I could in the holes a couple times. Let it sit overnight, and I started the next day. So it is a T30 Torx, which I have here. So it's a T30 bit that fits in these screws. The only bad thing about these screws, they're fairly soft, and the T30 Torx is a little loose. So if they don't come out easy, you can strip that out, which is what I did on the, almost did on the back, but I did do on the front. So I have actually stripped these out. I've tried an Allen. Once I stripped it out with the T30, I tried an Allen head and got it a little bit more and then stripped out. So the heads of these bolts are stripped out. I'm going to show you a way to get those out if you strip them out. The good thing about it is All Balls Racing makes these replacement pins. So I've got new ones coming. I'm going to leave a link in the description to the pins. They fit the front and the back of the X3 and a lot of other, like the Defender and a lot of the other brake pads. So you can go on All Balls website and kind of look up your machine, get the part number, and you can either order it from All Balls or order it from Amazon. I like getting stuff from Amazon because I know when it's going to get here, that stuff. So, but anyway, they make these replacement pins, and the nice thing about the All Balls replacement pins is their Allen head. So you can use I'm not sure the size, I'll find out when it comes in, but the Allen head screw instead of the Torx. So hopefully you got a little more sidewall and they're not quite as soft as this material. But the head of this is very soft. And I don't know if you can see in the camera, but I have destroyed it trying to get that out. Here's what you do. Basically, once you waller it out, you need to get a decent screw extractor set. I'm going to put a link to one on Amazon that has pretty good reviews, and actually my buddy has it, and we've used his on his old other machine. So I was in a hurry, went in Harbor Freight, decent. Harbor Freight's got decent stuff, but anyway, I'll leave a link to the one on Amazon. So what I have done with a screw extractor set, the one I'm going to put a link on, it'll have these screw extractors. One side will be the actual part that extracts it, which has like reverse type digging blades. And then the other side of the bit will have like a bore bit, kind of a drill bit on the other side. So all you do is you find the one that you need. So you need it a little bit, you find the one that's going to be a little bit bigger than the actual cutout part of the screw. And you'll take the bore bit end in your drill slow, and you drill that out. You don't have to go very deep. You'll still have the collar on there. So you just drill it out maybe 1/16 of an inch deep, 1/8 of an inch max. Once you get it drilled out, kind of knock it off, then you'll take that out of your bit. And you can either, I would advise, I broke the other screw extractor off because I put it in my drill bit and tried to turn it very slow. It's hard to go very slow with your drill, so I broke the tip of it off, as you can see. But I can still use it, I think, on this one. I got that one out with it. Once I broke it off, I just backed the little piece out and then dug it in. But what you do is once you drill it out just a little bit with the bore end of the bit, or I used a drill bit. So the drill bit I used for the number 3 screw extractor was a 7/32 bit. Seems to work pretty good. You just get it just where you can kind of go down in there, and it's just a little bit bigger or smaller than the tip of the bore, the number you're going to use. So what I did is I'm going to go ahead and do this one. So I start drilling. You just be sure you hold it straight. Like I said, this is pretty soft, so I don't have to go very deep. Maybe a little deeper than that. But like I said, with the ones that come with the both ends, you don't have to use a drill bit. It already has the bit on the side. So once you drill it out a little bit, you can see I went down probably 1/8 of an inch. And you can kind of put your bit in there, and you can tell if it's going to, it'll be in reverse also. You have to kind of go backwards. You can tell if it's going to bite or not. I'm going to try the broken one on this one. What I would do is I would get a ratchet or a tap handle instead of using the drill, because it's kind of hard to control it and it may break the tip of it off. So I just took maybe a 1/4 inch drill or ratchet, 1/4 inch drive ratchet with a 1/4 inch bit, and fit it here. So, and what you kind of do is you just got to press in. Make sure I got it in reverse here. And I may have to use the other one I think I used. This one's the one that's broken. Yeah, so let me use the number 4. It's a little, looks big, but it's pointed, so let me use the number 4. And once you get it, you really got to press in, and you'll feel it kind of grab right there. So I'll hold it. Let me get a little bite here. Once it kind of makes a groove. I mean, you got to push in hard, because these things really get, you'll feel it pretty much lock in there. So it biting into the edge of that screw. There it goes. And it finally broke loose. And it's getting a little crooked. So out comes your screw that was a pain in the butt to break loose. It stripped out the Torx 30, wallered out the holes. So screw extractor, easy out, however you want to call it. That seems like the best way to get it out. About the only way you can get it out is by drilling it a little bit and then putting the screw extractor in it. Like I said, I would try to use a ratchet or a tap handle. The drill, when these things are really seized in there, they'll break the tip of the screw extractor off like I did the first one. So I had to drill a little bit bigger, and this one finally bit in and got the screw out. So there's your screw. And what you do there is you just kind of take it and put it back in here. Get you a pair of vice grips or something to hang on to this. And then go back the other way, and it comes loose. So obviously, after you take them out, these are demolished. But like I said, I'll put the link in. It's awesome. All Balls makes these without having to go to get the replacement from Can-Am. I'm not sure if you can just buy these from BRP, but they don't do anything basically but just hold your brake pad in line, so there's no major stress on them, I don't believe, or anything. So far I've used a few All Balls things back. I've used them for years. Some things are good, some things are not. So I'm going to give that a try and do that. So once you get those out, you just take your 15 millimeters, take your caliper off, your brake pads will fall right out. Slide your new brake pads in. I'm not going to go through all that. But put it back together, Put your brake pads back in it. You may have to push your caliper. I'm gonna put a little, you know, WD or lube or something, like some thrust or something to keep those calipers from, you know, so they're not gunked up in there, and clean them out where they'll go in and out. Put your new brake pads in, push your caliper in, and it'll push the fluid back up to your brake line. And you might want to vent your brake line cap just to give it a little air so we can push the air above the brake fluid out. But shouldn't have to if it gets hard. If you do one at a time, it's not too bad. So anyway, new bolts, put it back together. You can get your new bolts that should fit, tighten right up. Allen head, good to go. Put everything back together. So this is a problem that I think a lot of your Can-Am owners will run into, especially if you water, stuff like that. It'll seize up kind of in there, soft material. So there is a fix. It's not very difficult. You will have to have new pins, new bolts for the caliper, and a screw extractor set, which I'll put the links to both in the description. So if this was helpful, if this video was helpful, guys, hit a like at the bottom and subscribe to our channel for more videos and stuff to come.